and welcome to today's video. I'm the RV Wingman, and this is my virtual campfire. Today, I'm going to talk with anyone who's thinking about buying a used RV, or if you're going to sell your RV. This video is for you. I think it's got a lot of great information in it. So, if you're going to buy an RV, how do you know how much to pay for it? How do you know what market value is? Real, true, current market value is. If you're a seller, how do you know what real current market value is for your RV? Well, one of my resources that I recommend you checking out is, of course, somebody that I do work with called PPL Motorhomes. They're the biggest consignment RV dealer in the nation. They have a gigantic website with thousands and thousands of pictures on it. But PPL sells bukus of used RVs every year. If anyone knows the actual real market value from a buyer standpoint or a seller standpoint, it would be PPL Motorhomes. But if you want to buy a used RV, for example, from a consignment dealer like a PPL, how do you do it? I mean, let's say you live in North Dakota and you see PPL down in Florida. Well, I'm interested in that unit. How do you go about buying or making an offer on a RV that is maybe thousands of miles away? Does it take a deposit? Do you just call them? Do you have to drive down and see them? How does the whole thing work? That is the question that I asked my friend Kevin Hoffpauir at PPL Motorhomes, and here's what he had to say.
You can make an offer on any one of them. We just like buying a house, and it's very similar because a lot of people understand it that way. We do the same way. If there's an offer that's on the table, and it is less than what we agreed upon with the seller, we will call the seller and they will tell us yes or no, or they will counter or what, on that. So we've got to make sure we're working for both sides. Really, there's not a lot of wiggle room on this because some of the prices, and we tell consumers, one of the reasons why you're calling us because the price is so good. So there's not a lot of wiggle room. Being here just a year, and I know they've been in business for 50 years, I tell my consultants that, when they do that, it's kind of like, you got to say it's very similar to buying a car at CarMax. The price is kind of what it is, and this is what our buyers want for it. We always call them and ask them if they want to go less, but just don't expect a $40,000 unit that they're going to drop at $8,000, because that won't happen. Or maybe they might say that they'll pay for extra repairs, and that's part of the negotiation. Say they want a second AC put on, it only has one. Oh, we'll call and see if the buyer would do that. So there's a number of different ways to communicate and bring the seller. We're just bringing the seller and the buyer together to make sure that we help negotiate for them, and then we also help the seller get the best possible deal for themselves also to get rid of the unit.
So if I, have my heart set on, that RV sitting over there, and we kind of come up with an agreeable price, but I'm out of state or I haven't been yet to see it, how do I reserve it? Do I have to buy it sight unseen? Can I put a deposit down on it and go look at? How does that whole thing work? Kind of walk me through quickly.
Sure. Basically, we will say, okay, so we've agreed upon a price. We send them an e-contract, which is basically a commitment to buy it. And then that gets taken off the market. So we ask them if they're going to be coming in, when they're coming in. We try to only hold stuff for about 72 hours, and that's it, because we've got a commitment to the person who consigned it. And if they can't make it for 2 weeks, it's kind of hard to do that side and hold it off the market for 2 weeks, because it could be a popular unit. But we will work with the buyer on that. But usually we try to say, hey, you got to be here within 72 hours to look at it, put your hands on it. And if you want to, we can go ahead and start trying to get it ready. So when you do come down here and you put your final yay or nay on it, it's ready to go. And then you don't have to worry about a second trip. So we try to deliver everything within about 5 days. We don't rush through this. We don't try to jam it down your throat the same day. If a customer is saying, hey, I got to have it today, we will do everything we can. But that's never a good situation to rush a dealer to go through a unit. There's hundreds and hundreds of components on this.
What about any kind of warranty or warranties available on some of these used RVs if I buy? Tell me about that.
There are. It's typically your typical extended service contracts that you can buy up to 4 years on it. It is also retroactive, so if you sell it within 2 years, you get 2 years of the warranty back. But we sell extended service contract. We're like all the other RV. We sell that. We sell tire. We sell gap to protect yourself there. We have our own insurance lady here that will give you insurance on the unit if you want.
But if I don't want any of that, that's not going to be jammed down my throat.
No. Okay. We try to make sure we provide exactly what the consumer wants, but we give them the options. We want to make sure that they understand this is available. A lot of people don't believe in extended service contracts, and that's fine. I believe in extended service contracts just to protect, because it's a minimal investment. These things are going 70 miles down the road. It's like taking it through a hurricane. They're going to break down. It's not if, it's just when. We know that.
What are your thoughts about, people are now, they buy a used RV, and if they have an issue with it, they don't realize that many times the dealer back in Colorado or Arkansas, wherever they go to, dealer says, well, I didn't sell you that RV, so I ain't going to fix it. And then they're sitting there with, oh my gosh. I have recommended, and I want to get your take on this, I've recommended that don't worry about going to a dealer. I mean, unless you have a great relationship. Dealers are so backed up, it's awful. If you have a situation, there are lots and lots of these mobile RV techs out there, probably one in your area, a small little business guy that just wants to do a good job, and you can communicate with them. They can do the maintenance. They can do most repairs. And I think it saves time. It saves money. It makes perfect sense. Good idea.
No, and there's a lot of little, small, there's a lot of technicians out there that have been doing this for 20 years that have broken off, don't work for the dealer anymore, are the mobile technicians, and they're master certified technicians. Some of them have actually started their own little shop, and are able to provide a little bit better service for you than bringing it in, and you got to wait 3 weeks. And then once it gets there, you got to wait another 3 weeks to get it back. And now you've lost all this camping time. So there are other opportunities, and there's more and more people that are living in these units, and they depend on mobile technicians to come there, so they don't have to uproot the house, so to speak, and then take it into a dealer, and then it's there. So there's a lot more of those mobile techs popping up. There's a lot of little small guys that are just opening up a repair facility. We've even talked about, is that something we need to do, based upon different areas, but we haven't gone that far yet. But yeah, there is a demand for a lot of, for better service out there, without a question.
What separates PPL from, brand X over there, that dealer over there, other dealers in the country? Because, there's tons of places to consign an RV, and every one of them, just about, if they have room on their lot, will, okay. What separates PPL? Before you answer that, Kevin, I have heard some dealers just flat out lie to people. We'll consign your RV, and they'll lie to the seller, making their ears feel good, making them think they're going to get all this money for this RV. And it sits and sits and sits. And the dealer knows that you're going to get frustrated. And then you're going to go, okay, well, instead of 110, I may take 75, which it may only be worth 75. But the dealers lied to them. And then the owner feels just completely jaded, and they should. And so, what are some suggestions you have for somebody to find a good consignment dealer? Obviously, we want to come to PPL if they can, but what do they need to watch out for?
We promise you we're not going to use your used unit to sell a new unit.
That's because you're a used RV consignment dealer.
That's
you don't have competition.
That's all
there.
we sell. That's all we sell. So I'm not going to try to flip you from going selling against yours and try to sell them a new one. That's one. Two, most of the time, 98% of the time, I have one of. Your unit is special. Every unit I have out there is special, because I can't duplicate a used one. So I don't have two of your floor plan or your brand or your manufacturer on my lot. So every one of them that we consign are special.
So in terms of determining the price, if I'm a seller and I want to sell my unit, it would seem to me that that the website would be a really good resource for me to do my homework, to say, oh, that may not be exactly like my unit, but it's pretty close. And they're asking so much for it. It would help me get my head straight, even if I decide to sell it on my own. Yes, you see trends.
Yeah, we have 20-year history of what, and we probably have 98% of the units in the floor plans, a history of how long that we've sold, how long that they've been on our lot, what did they sell for, what was the average of above NADA, or it sold for 10% above NADA. Some units are more sought out than others. So we have a good, that unit is going to sell. We can look in our database, history shows us it's going to sell between here and here. And so we can sit down and consult with the customer, on that and say, this is what sells. And we look online to see what other ones are selling for. So see, we've got most of them that are selling for $28,000, $29,000. You want to move this in 30 days, we probably need to price it at about $26,000. Just come under a little bit so we have that, and then we'd sell them the values that we have as far as what we do with how much customers we have coming through the internet, the website, how many searches that we get, what we do on the marketing side of things, the pictures that we take, how we market the unit. And that's how we're able to turn our inventory, in about 72 days. A lot of dealers try to turn their used inventory in 90 days, but understand when you're also sitting on a dealer's lot and you consign your unit with them, they have more units that they've purchased. They have more interest in moving those units because they want to get their money back.
Absolutely.
Okay. Here, we don't have a lot. We don't have that. We truly look at, this one's creeping up on 90 days. Let's call the seller. Hey, we haven't gotten any activity. We're trying to communicate with them every 30 to 60 days and say, we haven't written up a deal on it. And typically the two reasons why something doesn't sell is because of condition or price. If it's in good condition, we got it priced too high. We tried it. This is what we suggest. The market's changed to this. It's bunkhouse season right now. So there's a lot of people looking for bunkhouses. We have yours priced a little bit higher than the other one. So let's bring it down to here, and then boom, we sell it. So we're working with our sellers every day who consign with us to make sure that we give them the best value, but we also have a commitment to turn it as quick as possible. So condition has to do with it.
I have heard from, I can't even tell you how many people that I have heard bought their RV from PPL, a used RV. They're from out of state. They do everything online, literally everything online. When they come to buy it, they'll fly down to one of the local airports, or jump on Southwest, they'll fly in, get an Uber over. They'll stay in a hotel for a couple of nights, and they'll make sure, yes, this is exactly what we want, and they take it home. They drive it home if it's a coach, or they'll drive down, stay in a hotel, and they make sure everything is fine. If they have to arrange the financing, if they have to have any little things fixed, that to me is pretty much what people do. I mean, it's generally speaking. They can stay longer, shorter, but staying a day or two is not a bad idea to hang out, to get to know what you're buying.
And if you have any issues, Alan, I sold new and used for over 20 years, and even new ones, I've had brand new air conditioners go out on the walkthrough line. So It's always good to stay local for a day or two, use the components, see if anything's going on, see if there's anything that needs to be tweaked, fixed, those type of things. And we have that happen. You have it happen on new. If you're coming from out of state, I encourage you, don't go home with it right away. Stay around for a day or two. See the sites, do whatever you want to do on the different areas. And if you have anything that needs to be tweaked or anything that needs to be done, maybe we missed something or there's something. And then we try to, that's what I would suggest to anybody that's coming from out of state. Because the moment you get home, it becomes a pain.
I think that was some great information, and I'm hopeful that you were able to pull something out of it that is helpful for you. Now, the truth is there are a lot of places you can consign your RV around the country. And what I'm going to talk about right now is how PPL does it. They've been doing it for 50 years. I don't know how anybody could make it any simpler or more straightforward, or certainly any better than they do. PPL only gets paid When the transaction takes place and it closes, if you're a seller, you're going to pay PPL 10% of whatever they sell the RV for. They do everything. They store it and they show it and they find financing if the buyer needs financing. They're going to do everything. They get 10% of whatever they sell it for only when they find an offer that is acceptable to you. If you're a buyer, you know that. You know that whatever you pay for an RV there at PPL, that 10% of what you're paying is going straight to PPL. Like I said, it's very straightforward. I don't know how they do it all for just 10%, but that's the way they work it. Whoever you do business with, if you're going to consign your RV, please do a background check on them. Please check references. There's some people out there that have been really taken advantage of. PPL would never do that. They are a member of the RV Dealers I Trust Network. I love them and I recommend them strongly. If you'd like to get more information, you can go to their website, poke around, you think about buying or selling. As I said in the intro, it will give you a really good idea of what the current market value is on used RVs. It's pplmotorhomes.com. You can also, now they got 5 locations, you can also go to rvdealersitrust.com. rvdealersitrust.com, put it all together. It'll open up and you'll see a map with all 5 locations. And if you click on one of those locations, you'll see my personal contact there at PPL. You can shoot them a note and I promise you, you will receive the red carpet wingman treatment. I promise you, you will. That's at rvdealersitrust.com. Again, I'm hopeful that this video provided you with some information that was helpful. Yes, did it sound like a commercial for PPL? It probably did. But if you're going to consign your vehicle, please make sure you're doing business with the right dealer. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a comment below. Let me know how you think we're doing. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home.